Sadly, we've left the Pink Lakes, but just in time to avoid the big rain that's about to come, and we're driving along for a little while. I spot another great looking silo art and John agrees to pull over. I was inspired by the story of World War I light horseman Harold Thomas Bell. It's actually freezing standing out here, so we jump back in the car. We want to go about 3 hours up the road, maybe stop somewhere around Hay. Just for a change tonight, no water views. Very disappointed. I tried very hard, but boy, we have had a day of should never trust the GPS, shouldn't trust Wiki. Trucks too close and too fast behind us to turn off on the access road that's unmarked. Yeah. It was just one of hilarious.
We never find where we go, so we're going to turn off. This truck right at my bum, I couldn't slow down.
So the next place we got to looked like a rubbish tip, like not very nice to camp at, so we thought we'd go to the next one. We went down a bit of an access road and we just come to a big sign saying stop, this is private property, do not believe wiki camps. Yeah. So they've obviously had enough of people just driving into their property. And my final one was a campsite that said on wiki camps that it's a forest and a lagoon and lovely, and I pressed the directions to it. We drove an extra 13 kilometres and it just took us to the middle of the highway and
you have reached your destination.
We just looked at each other and laughed. So we thought, bugger it. We always come to Darlington Point and we often camp, like we did last week, over in the free camping in the Murrumbidgee Regional Park or whatever it's called, and we really love it. But we're exhausted. It's supposed to rain tonight, and we just thought we're going to treat ourselves to a pub dinner.
A snitty and chips.
We're at the Punt Hotel out the back, and it's just great.
So it's free. It's free parking at the back here. Looks like there's 4 spots, but you got to go see them and say you're here, and they
take your details.
They give you cards saying you got to take all your rubbish with you and no facilities, but they'd like you to have a beer or a feed or something.
But you literally come in one gate and you drive through and they're all exactly the same. And this will be us for tonight. It's a Tuesday night, so I assume everything will be quiet. It's a shame it's not tomorrow night, because John would very much have liked it to be a night when the soccer was on or the football was on, but it's not.
Well, the State of Origins on tomorrow night, so we've got to make sure we get TV coverage tonight.
That is true.
It says 2 per road, so you can put 2 vans per road.
If you wanted to.
If you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah. Dinner goes on at about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
And we're going to be there at 5:30.
Yeah, he's hungry. He's driven a long way today, not on purpose. We were going to take our time getting home. We just kept going and going.
Couldn't find the bloody things.
Yeah, we could have been there. Bloody GPS, I don't know, makes it worse. And the thing is, what made us laugh was we bought the new HEMA map tablet and we really like it and we haven't got lost with it. But the HEMA map tablet wouldn't come up with the campgrounds that we wanted and we were shitty with it.
Yeah, little HEMA hard drive, HX Box 2 or something I think it's called.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would have to say, the reason why it probably didn't come up with the campsites was because they don't probably exist. No complaints about this stop, except if you're a really light sleeper, you can hear some of the trucks come over the local bridge, which is just on the other side of that car park, and they do travel all night. But in the van, we didn't really hear it. We only noticed it a little bit. Look, there comes one. So that's the noise. If you're worried about that, don't stay here. But if you want a good feed and a nice drink and a friendly pub, then do stay here, because the Punt Hotel was absolutely great. We were the only ones here last night, so it was the easiest stop ever. this is us today. We have just driven through some absolutely beautiful countryside. It's also green around here. We've come the back way through June E, and actually an AI suggested we come that way because it would save on diesel. It wasn't as hilly as the motorway, and we thought, why not give it a try? I think it took us 25-30 minutes longer, but we are now here in Gundagai, just outside the township. They have 2 donation campsites, and this is the one out of town. It's just along their little creek. I think it's Morley Creek or something like that. It's just quite long. There's one other van up the end without a car with it. Should be a lovely quiet night here if the cows keep it down, hopefully. There's some bird life around, and it's just nice. We'll put our donation in. The official name for this one is a secret. So as you can see, there's the township, and we're along Morley's Creek, but they haven't actually put a "you are here." We're a kilometre out of town. Tonight I'm going to make peanut butter chicken curry because we feel like it, don't we? Do you have any say?
No.
And the first thing I'm doing is making some naan bread. So I've mixed a cup of flour with 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt, some salt, and I've made them into patties like this. And now I'm just frying them. And I'm doing this early so then I can concentrate on the curry. You've got all the chicken coated in different herbs and seasoning. Ready? Your favourite thing, less vegetables than normal, potato, broccoli.
Oh, good.
Is it?
Mm.
Happy to eat it?
Yep.
You'll probably be eating it tomorrow night. It made so much.
No, it's good.
Oh, good. Well, bon appetit.
See. This is our retired sailor put on his uniform and went down the docks for one last time. So he hired a lady of the night. He was going along and he said to the lady, "How am I going for my age?" She said, "Well, you're 3 knots, sailor." He goes, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you're not stiff, you're not in, and you're not getting your money back."
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow, what a quiet night here. It was absolutely peaceful and lovely. You wouldn't believe it, but it is about 9 o'clock and look at it, absolutely silent and misty. One of those days, our closest neighbours. I think there's 4 vans in here tonight and there's just not much to see. It is very quiet and very damp but not rainy, and a lovely place we would use here again, just so quiet. We've received a call that the tyres that we were waiting for have come in and they can fit us in tomorrow to install them. And our new windscreen wipers for the car are in. We've also decided that we want to get some work done to the car. So we want to go and see somebody about that. So Gundagai isn't that far from Canberra. We've decided to pop home. We'll watch some ice hockey this weekend and we'll decide what we'll do next week. We've come to Trax Adventure Gear in Phillip, which is our local shop where we get everything done. We got all the work done on the Prado here because they were honest with us and they told us what we needed and what we didn't need. So we've come in to discuss the problem.
Well, when the van's on the back, right, probably around 2.8 tonne, a bit of porpoising down the road, sort of thing, and it probably drops about 50 or 60 mil the back when we put the van on. Okay. But you can feel it porpoising down the road when it's those.
How often is the van on the back of the car in percentage-wise of driving the car?
Probably 40% of the time. We do a fair bit of travel.
So there's a couple of options, but if we look at a suspension solution, the suspension on the car will be there 100% of the time. Whether you got the load on there or not, the suspension will be there. If we put suspension on the rear to look after that load of 40% of the driving, then you're looking at having a very uncomfortable ride for 60% of the time. And I reckon on the Cruiser, the way they're raked, the way they're set up to tow, they're quite capable of towing and pulling the weights. If we look at a couple of solutions and stage it so that we're not going, here's an $8,000 solution straight up, I'd much rather look at piece by piece and see how it plays out on it. Yeah. Being that it's 2.8, so we're probably looking at about 250 kilos at the ball, roughly. I think that we could probably look at airbags to start with. Yeah. Some people frown at airbags. I think they're a good option on the right case. You've got a very capable car that's able to pull and tow very well, and it's raked accordingly to tow as well. So when you do have the car loaded and it comes down, you're probably at the moment guessing that it will just sit below level of having the caravan in the 300 level. So it'd probably dip down a bit and then come back up. Yeah. So the idea of the airbags is just to get the car so it just sits pretty flat. What that'll do is stop the pushing of the tow ball down, which means the front of the car comes up, and that causes the porpoising. Oh yeah. Which is a little bit scary at times.
It is, especially on like going across the hay plain. It just felt you could feel it. As it, yeah. Doing 90 odd k an hour.
Yeah, well, so. 190.
No, yeah.
90. So, and that'll stop that porpoising. Yeah. So, and what we can gauge from there is, and as I said, we'll stage it and we'll go for a drive with it as well, and with the van on, and just make sure that the dipping on the front isn't, the cornering is okay as well, just to make sure that we don't need suspension all round. Immediately now, with the car being low kilometre, suspensions I think will be fine, and then once the car does age, then we may have to look at a suspension solution as well down the track. But initially, let's just go with the airbags, and then we'll do a couple of tests with you and see what it's like.
Okay, airbags and new towing mirrors, please.
Beautiful.
Please.
Yeah,
I hate the clip-on ones.
Those clip-on ones are just
horrendous. So we're going to use the MSA ones. They're a great brand.
MSA.
Yeah, I think MSA, please.
MSA 4x4. They're a great mirror. It semi-mimics what we've got on the car as it is.
Right, so that's what we're going to do, airbags.
Airbags first, and then we'll get the mirror, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, because for anybody wondering, we might have done the suspension and done a GVM upgrade, but the authorities in ACT have their own rules, and we've decided that it's too complicated.
At this stage, yes.
Yes.
Very much so. They are complicated, and they've just changed since April this year, I think it was. Any car that's post 2023 of age, so from 23, 24, 25, 26, it's very complicated to get the post-rego GVM.
I mean, it was hard
We
enough.
don't really need it though,
No,
right?
when we got our 21 Prado done, it was hard enough doing that. But it worked out really well, but they've changed it again since
It's
then.
even harder now.
Yeah. All right. So I just want to say, Glenn doesn't sponsor us. We only have the connection that we built a friendship over doing the Prado and stuff. He'd not long opened his shop when we first bought the Prado, and we come in and we sat down, and we'd been to some other shops that had given us quite extensive quotes, and we couldn't afford what they were saying that we had to do. And we went through it all with Glenn, and we started step by step, and we worked our way up with the Prado, and it worked in really well with us for our finances and for feeling comfortable, didn't it?
Yeah. Too easy, camp easy. When we hooked the van up before the airbags, we set off about 60 mil, I think, on the rear end. But with the airbags in there now, with about 15 to 20 psi in the airbags, I think normally you've got to have them at 10 minimum. We're about 15 to 20 at the moment. It drops about 30 mil, so we've already 30 millimetre better than we were before. Put more air in there, it'll go up even better before than it is now. So it's sitting pretty level at the moment. Before it was sitting a little bit further down, even though it wasn't bad before, but it's sitting better than it was. So I'm happy with that. So if we put more air in, it'll sit up a little bit higher again. So it shouldn't wallow a bit when we go on some of those roads with the big things on it. But yeah, we'll hopefully test it next week and see how we go. But I'm happy with those airbags. They've done a good job
That's good.
so far.
Well, clearly this hasn't been my favourite week because we haven't been out and about. Instead, we've been getting the work done to the car. Until next week, wherever that takes us, I will see you on the other side. Anyway, I could cook, but we're here and it's the right thing to do because they offer this, and if it rains, well, we're standing on solid ground. No problem. I think we're going to have showers before we go in. I had a shower this morning, but John didn't. He's a bit stinky.
A bit man smell.
You got a man smell.